Leo, I have a question. How was your flight?
My flight was actually was horrible. Yeah. Thank you for asking. It's like a fucking difficult
How
to
long?
live here.
9 hours?
Oh, 9 hours. You kidding me, fucker? This is what happened. Okay, you ready?
Okay.
So we go from my house to LA. It's 2 hours drive.
Okay.
We took a taxi, Uber. What, you have Uber here?
Yeah.
We're in this is a not third world country. Okay. So we have Uber 2 hours. Then we took a flight to what was that? Romania.
Romania, okay.
Yeah. Okay, we stayed there for a night, and then we have to take another flight to where? Estonia.
Okay.
My
So
numbers.
Romania,
I'm
Estonia. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Eastern Europe, it's all the
Eastern
same. We
Europe,
get it.
my wife always gets angry at me because my stories they always have the names and the times wrong, but the stories are still good.
I hope that you still remember your kids' names.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is
That's why I tattooed them right
You
now.
tattoo-
No. But then we have to take a bus, right?
okay. From Estonia to where? Like,
To the border to Russia.
Yeah.
And, Russian border for 4 hours, something like
Uh-huh.
that. We leave the bus. We walk to the border. We wait 5 fucking hours to cross the border and get into Russia.
Yeah.
5-6 hours with no restroom, no water, crossing a bridge. And we're in the middle of the bridge. It's windy, it's cold, the kids are getting crazy. 5 hours just to get into Russia. And then take another bus and
To move 2 minutes.
San Petersburg for 4 or 5
Yeah.
hours, who knows, nighttime, right? And then we stay for a couple hours with our friends and we take a train to Moscow. So that was my fucking 3 days trip.
Yeah.
but
Beautiful.
hey, you had
Beautiful.
you had a wonderful view of the buses.
Oh, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. I was just hoping to make it here. That's all. That's all.
Oh, okay, cool.
Crossing fingers, I did.
Yeah.
How hard would it be for you to go back to America? now?
Hopefully not that hard. No,
Well,
that-
he just needs to get deported. That's all.
Just do it backwards.
It's no. It's a little easier, but it's gonna be one stop in one of your guys' country. I don't remember now. My wife booked the flight.
Problem
Can
Vietnam.
I want to say Morocco? It could be. Maybe I'm lying.
To Morocco.
So we stay in the
I don't think it's too like that's a
Domo,
long flight.
Domo. It's gonna be a long flight.
From
because we-
Domodedovo.
Yeah, that.
From-
You got it right.
From the-
We get there. We're gonna spend the night like 24 hours, not 23 hours, and then we take another flight. So it's kind of they sell it like a straight flight, but it's not.
Have you ever had any trouble at the borders here? Because you've been coming back and forth to Russia like
Oh
for
yeah, I
quite some
always,
time.
always have fun at the border.
Yeah.
I've been here like 4 times already. So
Mhm.
you know, like before it was fine, totally fine. They always get angry at me because I don't speak the language, but they don't want to speak English to me either. So we always
can
have
fuck
this.
off.
Yeah, they're like what the fuck, but I always show up with my Chilean passport, so Russians treat me better, you know.
Okay.
My American passport is not with me right now. No, nobody has an American passport here.
Yeah.
But it's fine. But this time, when I did it the last time, it was middle half pandemic. I don't remember 2021, I think, the end of the pandemic. But still was no tourists getting into Russia. It was only family members and Russians. You know, so it was these weird times.
Yeah.
We did the flight. I did the flight alone because my wife was here for vacation already. So you imagine me trying to get in alone and not speaking any language and then giving them my papers. I didn't want to read my papers in English.
This is very fun at the what do you call it? The taможня, the customs.
Yeah,
The guys
yeah.
with the passport.
They
Yeah.
have me 3 hours, bro.
Yeah,
Waiting,
yeah,
waiting
yeah.
room. At some point, I thought I'm not gonna make it. I have no phone. I have no Russian.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they're not giving me any information. They keep coming back, asking me to show them the papers. Like I have a wife and kids
Yes.
here. And they're like, "Why are you here? You cannot be here." Like my wife is here, and they keep coming back and forth, asking me weird questions. I didn't want to talk to my wife. My wife is right out of the gate, waiting for me
Yeah.
for 5 hours without knowing if they send me back. Very weird. So that was fun. At some point, I thought when they're gonna send me back because a guy before me, it has kind of similar situation because we were talking and they sent him back.
Yes,
to
yes.
wherever
Oh.
I think he was coming from British. They sent him back. I was like, shit.
He probably shouldn't have said anything on Twitter. That's what he did. They checked Twitter. No, like
Man.
no, I'm just trying to remember 2021.
yeah, man. Like I know
Fucked up.
similar stories because like for a few months, for the last like year, from for 1-2 months. Like some Arab calls me, some Arab I call him, and he's like tells me, "Hey man, I need you to go to the airport because there's gonna be like 5 or 4 Arabs who's gonna come here, and I'm afraid they would send them back on the same plane."
Oh my god.
Yeah, so I go there, and and he before they leave from Jordan, like there was some guys from Jordan, from Iraq, from who like also Jordanians from Turkey.
Yeah.
He would tell them, "Here's the number of the guy. When they ask you, give them this number, which is my number, and this guy will go." And it's such a fun ride. Like I go there, the police come to me. And they're like, "Who are these?" And they start questioning me about these people, and I have no idea who
You
these
have
people
no
are.
idea. You're just doing a favor for a friend.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, no, I don't do shit for free. But, yeah, of course.
Oh, okay, like
yeah, he has to buy me shisha. That's the
nice,
thing,
nice,
yeah.
nice. Okay.
I'm like not expensive, but also not cheap.
Not sure.
Yeah.
Middle. Oh, makes sense. But I don't know, man. It was tricky, but this time it was a little easier because my wife was right next to me. But I want to go with her, and my wife and my kids have Russian passports, so they separate us in the end. And the lady, she like English is okay, so she was kind of angry, but it wasn't that difficult. It was easier than the other time.
There's a story I have, just a quick story at Vnukovo. There was once, so long story short, they stopped me there so many times, like the wait 2 hours, 3 hours while I enter Russia, you know. Is that there's one day they stopped me for like an hour or two, and I sat there like nonchalant. I was like, like this is like I've been through this too many times. My papers are fine and everything. Then they take me to the head office. They open the door, and the lady in the head office looks at me and says, "Hey, Abed!"
Yeah, no, you're
She
rich.
doesn't know me. She's like, "Yeah, this is the guy. He gets stopped all the time. But give him his papers and let him piss off."
That's nice.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but in Russia is the only place where in the airport they don't even speak English at all. For some
Oh
reason.
man, yeah.
I think they kind of want to try to prove a point or something. I get it, I get it. But come on, bro. Like you're talking to international people. You need to be flexible. That's the thing.
Oh, definitely.
So they're like
Definitely.
even like I don't know French people. They when you go to Europe, like they don't want to speak English to you. They even treat you like shit over there. I think Russians are almost the same, but the officials, the normal people, they're more flexible. If they know English, they will.
Yeah.
In French people, they're not fucking official. They're just in the coffee shop and they fucking treat you like shit.
Oh,
It's-
really?
Yeah.
You've been
So
to
what-
France, yeah?
Yeah. So that's why it's funny when the movies make fun of them. It's true. They're very proud of their language and they don't give a single fuck about the tourist people because they kind of know the people they're gonna come anyways. I don't know what is
Of
the
course,
weird.
they have to compensate for when they ran away from the Nazis, so they have to be dicks for everybody, you
Yeah,
know.
they're big. Yeah, they're assholes. Yeah, but it's okay. It's a beautiful country, so they're like.
But like here, I think what I like to say is like in Russia, there's something they work for how much they paid.
Yeah.
So like I'm not paid to speak to you in English, so I don't care. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
If you pay me more, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. I'll learn the 3 words, you know.
Yeah, makes sense. But yeah, I think now like with the younger generations, they all speaking more flexible with
Yeah,
English.
that's why they leave Russia.
Yeah, but that's it. They learn enough, and they're like, bye, I'm out. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, there's something I want to ask. Chile, I remember something when I used to university. Chile was the place for startups, right? Like if you are entrepreneurs and you wanted to do a startup company, you go to Chile.
In some point, I think they were like our economy. It was solid for several years, and they
Yeah.
have a lot of people bringing money to the country, and they have a lot of startups and stuff like that. It's true. It's
You
true.
said was.
It was. It's not doing great right now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but compared with all Latin America, we're still first. We're still
okay.
first. But as a good Latin third world country, we have a lot of corruption that's fucking up everything, and the people, our normal people that don't make enough money.
Yeah.
So we have this thing like 5% of the population they own 95% of the money, and the rest is for us, for normal
Yeah.
people. So it's kind of like not equal, and it's bad. So the country is doing great, but everyone in the country is not doing great. I think like it's a normal thing.
No, it's a
everywhere.
normal
it's
thing.
normal.
So, and that's where you started comedy in Chile.
No. Actually, I started coming in the US. Yeah.
Okay.
I was always the clown of my class. I love to, make people laugh. That was my thing. And we didn't have stand-up comedy in Chile at all, so it was weird because I became a comedian in the U.S. and I discovered stand-up comedy in the U.S. because friends they keep telling me you should be a comedian. I'm like, in Chile we have the joke teller, like it's like
Yeah.
they memorize a story and they all have the same jokes and they tell in different parts. That was our comic. So for me, it was kind of I love to watch them, but I was like, I don't want to memorize a fucking joke from the book and tell it. It was my thing. And then the American friends and some Chilean friends, and when you usually I used to get drunk or like something like that. I start telling fake stories, real stories, but people start going around me, listen to me because I was trying to be funny, and I really like that. So I call it my little shows when I get drunk. So my wife like, oh, he's doing his show again. So friends start telling me you should do stand up, and then I figured out stand up comedians in the U.S. And right then, when I left Chile, they started doing stand-up comedy in Chile. So I didn't know because I didn't watch TV or anything. So then I started reading, checking YouTube and videos. I was like, this is interesting. So I hold it back for a couple of years because I want to really do in Spanish. English.
Yeah.
My English is all right now, but before it used to be worse. So I was telling my wife, I don't want to do comedy in language. I'm not good at it,
Yeah.
But in the end, I have to start doing it in English. So that's what I did because my wife fucking pushed me to do it.
And she's Russian.
And she's Russian, and when your wife is telling you to do something, you do it. You do it. So yeah.
How old were you when you moved to America?
23.
20.
So my birthday was a couple of weeks ago, and 40 years old. I'm 40 now.
Oh man, you don't look a year older than 39.
Urtizen, he told me at the door, like, you look like 100 years older. Yeah. He's lying to me right now. This guy, that's fake news. I don't call it fake news. But yeah. 40 years old, and I've been doing comedy for 6 right now. So 6 years. Enjoying the trip, but
I want to ask you, like you said, in Chile, well, at some time they were just memorizing stories.
Yeah, so like we call it the cuenta chistes, like you just go and tell a joke, but it's not there. Oh, maybe they write it down, but usually there are books, and then the same stories, and these people they kind of moving these stories around, or they just it's not a stand-up comedy when you speak you're through, or you're telling a story with your style. It's stuff happening daily, like you don't want to explain stand-up comedy, but then they just like they kind of telling you a story too, but they're all like memorized stories. It's not like this happened to me. They're just making up. Two guys got into the bar, and the one is a Jewish guy. That kind of thing, right? They call it in the US the dad jokes, stuff like that. So that's what I grew up.
Street jokes,
that's what I grew up. Look. Watching. There was one comic. He was doing stand-up comedy before we call it stand-up, and he was the only comedian I liked the most in my country. It was telling like real stories, but they didn't call it stand-up. They call it café concert. That was the name, which is like whatever they make up for. But he was the only guy who was telling like a real story. So that was the comedian I liked the most. And he was doing it without knowing what is stand-up comedy. So because he's so he was the only one like telling true stories. But he make a more like a 1 hour special every 2 years, and he was selling that. So he was doing stand-up. The only guy kind of doing the closest what we do.
Okay.
But I figured out about stand-up comedy here. They start doing it the same year I left. This cocksucker started doing stand-up comedy, so I never knew about it. So I spent 5 years here without really knowing about stand-up comedy. I love comedy, but I didn't know the concept of it.
And because you say now you do shows in Spanish and in English, do you feel is there a difference between the two styles or no? Or is it just the same stories?
Like I got so used to my English comedy. I did it for like a year and a half, and if you ask me that, it's kind of weird because when I do Spanish comedy, I don't speak my Chilean Spanish, so it's like I have an accent. I need to speak more like Mexican to the people in the US to get my stuff. So if you're thinking it's easier, it's not that easier because I have to rethink stuff in my brain too
Yeah.
to tell you the joke. This is, I got comfortable in English now, so it's kind of natural for me. But in Spanish, it was the same process. Okay, I need to speak Mexican now, or more like a neutral. So the Latin people, and not only the Mexicans, but Latin people's gonna get what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So I got really comfortable in Spanish too now. So I kind of there about the same. And during the beginning, I have one show every 6 months in Spanish. Now I can do maybe one every 2 months. But English is obviously like a weekly basis. Yeah. No, I cannot do daily. Now I have a family, so it's kind of difficult for me. I wish I can go like these comics. They go to open mics every night. I have 4 shows a week now. I'm not to that point yet. I have like 1-2 shows a week, and then those are the nights I let myself, leave the house because I have little kids. It gets hard on my wife just to get all the weight.
Yeah.
So the family.
How old are your kids?
So they're 9 and almost 9 and 6.
Oh,
So they're 2 little boys. They're
the
beautiful,
age of reason.
and they take a lot of energy out of us.
Are you forcing them to work or not? Not
Of
yet.
course, but I don't tell anyone that. I have my little business that. No, they live in the dream. They have a good life. Yeah.
Until they're 10.
Until they need to start working. Yeah, 2 more years. But no. They're beautiful, 2 beautiful boys. But we are alone in the U.S. with my wife. My wife is Russian. I'm from Chile. We have nobody. So like when you have family around, it's like, hey, we'll go and do something. Take the kids. It's not our situation. It's like I go and do something. My wife has to stay. Or we do something together, we have to pay the nanny.
In Jordan, I don't know how in Jordan it's like, okay, we have to go outside and play until we come back.
that was like the old school thing, I think even with the how is the US, we overprotect these kids, unfortunately, and you have to because over there, I don't know. We live in a very good state. It's California, right?
Yeah.
And the area we live is beautiful. It's safe.
Well, unless you live in Hollywood, then you're not safe from anyone.
Yeah. No. But that's why, we live a little in a smaller city, part of the big city, but it's very safe. So the kids can go and play outside and do stuff. But we still we need someone to watch them. Like before too, I'm like they put the TV on. I'll be back in 6 hours. You just stay alone. Yeah, that's not the case.
Okay. So what about your first show? Do you remember it?
My first show, I don't remember actually because I got so drunk.
You're blind.
Yeah. I remember going to the show. I remember I went to the stage. I got some laughs, but I don't really remember the full set.
Was it in English or was it in Spanish?
English. 1 year and a half I did only English, but I do remember it was an open mic. It was late. I drank almost 2 bottles of champagne. My wife, she helped me to drink one, and another one mostly I did it myself.
She was trying to get you not to get on stage. Yeah, get drunk then.
No, she wanted to get the courage, right? To go and do it because I was always against to do English because the language barrier, right? Yeah. And but she pushed me to do it, so I drink a little bit in the house, maybe a little too much, and then I got there, and obviously you don't go first or second. I went I got there at 10 p.m. I went up 1 something a.m.
How many comedians? Wow.
So
they're only. No, I think this mic was 5 minutes, so it was longer. Usually they do 3 minutes right now in the US, but it was 5 or 6. I don't remember.
I want to ask you about this show. If I'm not I remember I read that, for example, the open mic is going, they have many comedians, and the audience are just leaving, and a new audience come, basically.
Yeah, they're moving around. If you get lucky, you get more people. If not, it's only comedians.
Yeah, it's not that you stop the show. No, it's just the show is continuing, and people come and go, right?
Yeah, so half of the people there listen to you, and other half they're either getting here, they're getting drinks, talking between themselves. Yeah. So just couple real clubs. It's better the situation with the people come in because they know I start at this time. But in general, you get this a lot of moving around.
Yeah.
Especially these mics I used to to back in the day. It was like this comedy club. It was like a mic every night from 10 p.m. till 2 in the morning when they close, right?
Yeah.
So it's long hours and every night. So it's not like I'm gonna have full house every night.
Yeah.
So you have like a 10, 15 people coming in, coming out, and then the comedians sitting around. So usually when I used to go up in the end of the night, like want something almost two, it's just five comedians sitting to maybe if they get up with you and nobody's putting attention. So it's just a nightmare.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that made me very strong in the way like I didn't care about really them listening to me. I care about my material and getting better. So it's like no. I'm not gonna say, oh, it made me better right away, but okay, this is that. So when I went after a year or whatever to real shows, 6 months, when I started doing a couple real shows, you get a real audience. They're sitting there to listen to comedy, and you're like, wow, I'm actually funny. Oh, this is good, and the whatever it comes in front of you is nothing compared with the shitty mic you did for fucking a year. So it's like I think it made me stronger in the way I can deal with any audience,
Nice.
because I was dealing with none. Yeah, so that was good. In some way.
What advice would you give someone starting comedy?
A new comedian. Yes, I think like never stop. Keep following your dreams and learn as much as you can and practice as much as you can. And sometimes don't listen to the other fucking comics because they're horrible. They're fucking doing it for too long, or they're jealous, or they don't want to share. Some of them they're good, but it wasn't my case. I went along. I knew nothing about stand-up comedy, and I didn't find a good comic who helped me until like 8 months in. So I was literally, I love it so much. I was going along, doing my sets, bringing friends. So they were telling me if I did good or bad. Friends who knew not much about comedy, but the fucking comics from the club, they didn't even want to talk to me. In the way like I was after my set, like, hey dude, like how you think I did it, or any tips. They were like a fucking like not talking to me or like avoiding me. I'm like, dude, they're either racist or they're like jealous or like something. It was weird. So that's what I do. But they cannot tell me to not go up on stage. So if you put your name in this mic, you're gonna go up in some point. So I just coming back because it was the only a mic I could do because I work night times. But that's what I was dealing with, like a cheaty comedian. They didn't wanna even share like oh, you did good, bro, like work on this, nothing. So I would tell like younger comics, like just keep following your dreams, keep practicing and try to get as much stage time as you can, because that's the only way you get better.
How did you start learning how to write a joke? Like,
so I didn't really have an idea, I watched a couple of videos. I knew I was funny, so I was basically going up and telling like a long story with a lot of setup and not much punchlines on it. I was like really going through the long process, and after like 6 months I figured out something on social media pop up, like one old comic was not from my city, from LA, was doing a stand-up course. So I was like, okay, this my open mic thing is not working for me. They're not helping me, and I'm not making any connections. Nobody's inviting me for shows. So I was like, I do this guy's course. He has a show in the end of the course, and I'm hoping I'm gonna meet someone who knows more about stand-up. So that was what I did. The guy is not even famous. He's like doing comedy forever, and he just teaching comedy like like several years. So I paid for the course like $300 at the time. We used to meet once a week for an hour for 6 weeks, and we basically he's telling us the main points, like how to write a joke, and then we just start working on our stories. And every week we used to tell the story to him, and he used to tell us, oh, you can do this better, that better. Basically like an open mic with the professor there, right?
Okay.
So that's what I did, and in the end we have a show. We all invite friends. It was like 60 people there, so
cool.
Nice crowd. And I did like I think 12 minutes or 10, something like that. So we worked for the 10, I think 10 minutes. And it felt pretty good. Yeah, it was nice. So I made a couple connections, And then some people put me in real shows after that because I got a video because open mic video they're cheaty. You're not doing very well. You have many people laughing, so then I have a real, like a okay video. I can start sending people, and then I have couple shows, and
So
I start doing better after that.
in the USA, the way you get on big shows is you send videos. If the promoter likes you, they invite you. Yeah.
Yeah, you basically you have to have a good between 5 8 minutes
Yeah.
video, sometimes 4, depends on the
venue.
festival or the club, and you just start sending videos, and then sometimes you get no answer, sometimes they invite you back, or they put you in shows, and then you just start making connections. It's all about connections basically.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's how you go right now. I have my own show now, so that's good.
What do you mean your own
Yeah.
show?
We
Your
have-
host? You mean your own show or?
So they opened a new club like 2 years ago in my city in San Diego. I live in San Diego, California, and they opened a new club. It was a club I used to do shows in back in the day, and they closed, and new owners redid the whole thing, and they opened a very nice club. Called Mic Drop, and I have a friend. We did comedy together from the beginning, and we used to do shows together. And he works at the club, and thankfully, they let me start my own show. It's called Muy Funny, so it's a Latino English show,
Uh-huh.
and only Latino comics, and usually I'm the host of the show, and I'm booking everyone. I pay
Ah.
the club pay me depend of the sales,
Yes.
and I pay the comics, and I'm booking people and running the show. It's a bi-monthly show, so we're doing like every 2 months.
Okay.
And last this next show they want to start doing one Spanish, one English.
Oh.
So it used to be only English. I didn't want to do Spanish yet because it's difficult to bring the
Spanish
Latinos.
Yeah.
Speak. I don't know why the English is okay, but the Spanish speakers they're a lot over there, and they don't. If they don't have a big name they know from TV,
Yeah.
then I'm not showing up. But I'm working on it, and I think it's gonna be good. So I'm working with a club, and I have that show going on every 2 months, and they have another club in Arizona, in another state.
Mm-hmm.
And I went there in March. I did my the same with Fanny in Arizona, and now they asked me to come back in September. I'm going again, and we're doing one-on-one Spanish and English. So trying different cities, connecting with a lot more comedians, and since I'm booking them, it's better for me. At least they know me, and they're like, "Oh, this guy is booking. I can book him in our show." So I think it's working nicely better. I'm doing that show for like a year and a half. Yeah.
But you still haven't you don't go on tours yet. Like you're still you're still starting out.
I wish. I go around from LA to San Diego, and I go to Texas once in a while. I have friends there, and we invite each other to our show. They have
Yeah.
producers. I've been to Puerto Rico and blah blah blah, but it's just like a connection. No, I cannot call it a tour yet because a tour you have to go and sell tickets in different
Yeah.
cities,
Exactly.
and I'm not at that level yet.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to be there by the end of the year next year, but
That's good.
you need some TV credits for that, and I'm working on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have an hour. You're working on an hour right now, or what?
I probably have a good hour and a half. I didn't put it together like
Yeah.
the longest show I done. I did like an hour something, an hour and 20 in Chile, but
Mm-hmm.
that was in Chile when I went back to visit my family, but I can do an hour strong hour.
What's the process of building an hour? So what's your process in building this whole hour? Like when I did my first 50 minutes that like I ever done, I remember how I had it visualized from start to finish. I knew what my first joke is, my last joke is, that it connects everything. It's a story about how I was living in Jordan, coming here to Russia, and my life in Russia.
Yeah.
So what's your process of like building this hour?
So like I'm 6 years in, so like an hour sounds like an hour and 30 sounds like a lot, but it's not really like
Yes,
that.
yeah,
Because
I
when
agree.
you get to the point like you're gonna be touring and doing your comedy, you're gonna have to build an hour every 2 years or so.
Yeah.
So this is just whatever I have from the beginning. So it's not about the same. Like you for me like kind of the same story, right? Like I left my country at some point. I live in the U.S. Blah blah blah. So I go. I have the beginning and the end very strongly. Like it's always the same, but in between I always move around depending how long are the shows and like. And I don't I'm not in the point like I'm not selling my hour yet going around. So when I go, it's like usually 30 minutes out of the city or 20-minute spots. So I just play around. Usually the beginning it goes the same because it's kind of how I connect with people with the story. Like I live in Chile and live in the US, and now with the kids and all that, I have a lot of family stuff. I go from that to my traumas in Chile, like to my traumas in the US.
Back to my traumas of being a father.
And my traumas with my wife and my kids. All about it's just like a big therapy. The show when you do shows like when you talk about real stuff is the best stuff, and basically I go back and forth from my childhood to whatever is happening to the family right now. So that's what I'm mainly doing jokes about it.
Do you for with this hour, do you look at how many laughs per minute, or like it doesn't matter? Like one comedian who used to be my comedy buddy, now he's traveling. What he had, but he was like mostly in Russian.
Yeah.
So what he had, for example, he would have really strong 5 minutes, and then 1 minute, 2 minutes, he would let the audience rest from laughter. Just be talking, but inside there would be a joke there. But then he would again a strong 5 minutes, and then a bit of a rest, and then a strong. Is that like the same for you, or you just like for example Christopher Titus?
Yeah.
He doesn't care. Every 10, 15 seconds, there's gonna be a joke, until the end. There's a moral for the whole thing.
Yeah.
So,
I'm not as technical as that, because a lot of comics they're like they really literally counting and all that.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to that point yet. I don't know if it's good or not. But I kind of I really feel the audience, and I try to put as many jokes as I can. Let's say if I can put a punchline or like a comment is gonna kill, I do it. Usually it's a setup punch, but then my stories they go like between a minute or can be 7 minutes. So, but if it's a 7 minute joke, I have a lot of punchlines between. So like until I get to the big one in the end. But I all depends. But I usually it's all about stories. But they have to have punchlines, and usually it has to be like at least I don't know like every 30-40 seconds. Yeah, something funny. Even though that even I myself I get bored. Too much talking. Yeah, I gotta do something. Right? But I not go that technical. I maybe have to look it up.
Okay.
I have a couple of friends they were doing it, but it kind of sounds boring to me to go too technical side on the jokes.
Like same thought I had. Like, oh, this is boring until like I saw how. Not technical, how he structured it, and I was like, oh, this is it's a very interesting way to look at it from that point of view,
Right, yeah.
It's just like, and he knew, like he told me, I know the point where I have to stop, because like, especially for a Russian audience.
Oh, okay.
Because one thing I really liked is when there was once when I was watching him perform, and I remember to the point where an audience member just stands up and goes, "Can you stop? I cannot. I'm like I want to laugh, but I laughed so much I cannot laugh more."
Oh shit!
Yeah,
they're telling you, huh?
This is what happened with him.
Okay.
You could see like people just standing up, go like one guy I remember.
That's interesting.
Yeah, he stood up and like spin 360 and went back to his chair.
Shit.
That's how hard the laughter is. Russian comedy is what they do is there's a setup and then there's a small punchline, and then it becomes like the laughter becomes bigger until it builds up to the applause break.
Yeah.
Or in Russia also they start wooing like woo, like they start
really?
shouting. Yeah.
Maybe I don't know the Russian audience that much. Yeah, like and in the US usually you can just kill them with jokes and they're fine with it. Yeah. So there is not really a rule for it.
No,
but maybe like maybe how the people
Yeah,
in each
exactly.
country
How the
react.
people react. Yeah.
Because I know I know I didn't have the chance to do. I just did one show in Chile, but I know the Chilean audience. They're very annoying in the way they let you know the what they think. So it's
Okay.
kind of weird. So they're gonna like tell you like, hey, that's not like that, bro. Hey, bro, you lied. What's that? I don't know if the Russians do that, but they're very unrespectful. But if you don't please all of them like the way they want, they're gonna let you know. So it's kind of annoying watching some comics, especially not the famous ones, because I guess the people that really like them.
Yeah.
When you see a normal show, a lot of opinions in the fucking room, and you don't want that in the, all the time. But I guess
in Russia we have the kind of audience where it's just like arms like this and no reaction.
Oh man, tell me about
but then they come up to you and they're like, "You're really funny."
But you're like, can you please next time laugh a little bit? Yeah, let me know with your face. Shit. Yeah.
There's something they do, which is they like sit and smile.
Uh-huh.
Especially this is in English.
Yeah. Okay.
A lot this is in English. They sit and smile. But something I noticed is that if your joke is funny, if it like reaches, they will laugh.
No.
But you need to crack that
You need to crack
this shyness that they have.
I know. I mean, Russian people, man, that's something else for sure. But I guess, like that makes a lot of sense. Like every country will have different reactions, and especially if they're more used to stand up. Like the US, they're fucking doing it for I don't know how many years. Like it's been forever, right?
Mm-hmm.
The people know about stand up, and they're there to see you and enjoy the show.
Yeah.
Especially comedy clubs, I'm talking about, because if you go on bar shows, it's totally different. And then we're talking about crowds like that want to see comedy, and then you're dealing with annoying people or drunk people that don't even want to listen to you, or they're talking over you. So it's a little different, but if you're talking about comedy club, the people sitting there to watch comedy. So that's a really good audience, and you can literally do whatever you want, because when you have a show, you have 6 comics going up, and they have totally different styles. The people they're open for anything, you know. It's not like, oh, we want one-liner show, oh, we want storytelling. No, they just sit in. If you're funny, you're funny, you know. And different styles, and the people they're open to watch, you know, and laugh. But that's the US in comedy clubs. Bar shows is a different story. Yeah.
There's one comedian here in Russia who went to Dubai, and before going, he asked me like, do the Arabs like, are there some taboo subjects and all of this? And like I told him, like, just don't speak about the leader of the country, you know, and religion. If you
stay away.
Yeah, and he told me, oh, what about like, for example, sex jokes or whatever. And when he went there, he saw a couple, an Egyptian comedian and his wife. I forgot. Maybe we talked about this before. She's probably from Sri Lanka or somewhere like in that area, and they were talking about sex jokes. And he said something he noticed is that there were girls in hijab, there were like women in burqa, all of this, and they were laughing like so loud.
How do you know if a woman in burqa is laughing?
Well, you see the shadow moves a lot, you know.
It flies away.
And he told me like how it's like a stereotype in his head that was removed on that point.
Right.
And it's so interesting. I told him like, for Arabs, for example, we will laugh. We came to laugh.
Yeah.
You know, we will laugh. Just make us laugh. Like say something that we find funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, like your shows that you do all this. Do you guys do a lot of stereotype jokes? Is it like based on this, or you don't care? You can say whatever and people laugh at it.
Yeah, you can basically say whatever you want there. Like it's very open. But like you said before, you need to know your audience too. Like if I go to Russia, if I start talking shit about your government and whatever is happening with the war, it's gonna be a problem,
Special
right?
operations?
So over there also, like if you like in some cities, you know, like there, let's say like you have the Democrats and the Republicans, right?
Yeah.
So left and right. And then if you go there and you talk about another side, and then you make them feel uncomfortable, even if your joke is funny, they're gonna let you know. The same with the military, you know, like if you have a like military audience and you're talking shit about the military, they're gonna cheer on you. So you need to. It's open. You basically can say whatever you want, but also you need to pick up.
Read the room.
You read the room and be smart about it. Okay, I don't want. You want to be controversial, but you need to be very funny then, because I've done that. You know, people like more like a conservative, like people even in Spanish, and my friend then went to me like, man, my mother is like, she goes to church every weekend. She's, at home praying every day, and she's laughing about your fucking dick joke. So then she was laughing too hard. And like, yeah, because you start like, okay, can I do this? Can I do that? And then before I used to have my set, and this is the set I'm gonna do. That was my first 3 years. This is the set. And go hardcore, and even if I'm fucking bombing, I'm doing my set. I did it in Russia. He saw me. I did like 40 minutes. I bombed hard here. But like that was in the beginning. Now I have my whatever I say, 1 hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, not too good. But I have my stories, my joke, and I go up. I know the beginning, the end, and I pick it up. I'm picking up. I'm reading them. Okay, they laugh too hard on this one. I go dark. I have very dark stuff too. So I go there. If not, I keep it light, but still, my style is kind of controversial too. So I just play with all these, the gay stuff. I play with the being illegal. I was illegal in the US. I play with a lot of stuff I shouldn't be talking, but I talk about it. I don't care. So that's my style. But like I have to pick it up too, and like you cannot go hard on every audience. So can you read the room, right? Yeah. You need to pick your battle.
So basically, you can change gears. Well,
and I learned that in the hard way. So
can you tell us how?
Yeah, so like bombing, I never bombed really that hard, but like it happened to me here, and like I mentioned, like I did this show, and I was like, okay, I'm traveling, I want to do comedy, right? So I contact some people in English comedy, whatever in Russia. You answer me and some more people. And I think when I went to Russia, I was like a year in, maybe like something like that. And I was like, he put me as a headliner closer, and I did 45. I shouldn't be doing 45 when you are a year in. And like I said, I put my set, and also, I mean, I don't want to blame the show, but in that show, it was long show, right? You have extra comics. It was like 2 hours already running in the show, and then it was my turn. My English with a heavy accent. I have a heavy accent, and I have my jokes. I pick it up family shit, American jokes, and one comic before me he proposed, and it was a big fucking party. Everyone happy.
Shout out to Kirill Voronin.
Kirill Voronin proposed.
I don't think if I get out my set, but I was already. I set up myself to fail. I was already failing that show. I feel like because I thought about a lot after because why I did that to myself.
You should have went on stage and got like, honey, we're getting a divorce.
But I didn't read the room. This guy did that. The people was 2 hours in the show. They wanna keep drinking and not looking at the comic. And then I went up. After that it should be like a bye good night. And then he was like, oh, we have this funny comedian from the US, Saavedra. And I was already drunk too because I waited too long, So all together, and I bombed hard, I was my wife there. I had some friends because we did a project together in the US. I have a lot of Russian friends here. And they went to see me, and I was like, I'm bombing in front of friends and family hard. And I didn't bomb that hard ever. So yeah, I learned a lot out of that show because all the different, like I said, like I didn't really know much about comedy. I taught myself, and then like the set thing, have my set, and I did the fucking set, and I'm dying with my jokes, and then okay, I go to the next joke, and the people still know. I mean, I have some laughs here and there, but what I remember is silence. That's what I remember. 40 minutes of silence, bro. So yeah.
I don't know why. For some reason, I always bomb when my friends are in the room.
Right?
I never invite anyone to shows. That's like one of the reasons I hate Russian comedy is because if you're still starting in Russian comedy, they tell you, oh, you need to bring your friends to the show.
Of course, yeah, bring your show. That's the way they book you.
And if I'm gonna bring, I know I'm gonna bomb. So I'm like, no, I'm not gonna bring my friends, and like you deal with it.
Yeah, that's part of the process. Like I'm not doing that many like they call it bringer show. Like you bring 5+ whatever people they book you. Not anymore, but I remember like in some point of doing comedy, your friends get tired of going to your shows too. Not because the same jokes, because sometimes I play around, I kind of do some new stuff between here and there, but it's like after 10 shows, you how good is your friend to keep going to your shows? You know, it's hard. You know, it's hard. So, but it's part of the business. You know, you're
true.
gonna be in those shows, and sometimes you gotta do it. So
Mm.
that's why my wife, unfortunately, she saw me that day, and a couple more times.
Just like divorced people. So like
This is you winning in life? No, not really. I was so proud of that show. I was like, oh man, I'm killing it. I'm gonna kill it. And well, you live and you learn, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And like I say, you know, like I was thinking a lot after that show, and then I make a couple changes, and it was just the beginning of my career. But anyways, at this point, like I say, I have idea, but I know like, oh, I'm gonna tell these jokes, because then you put a lot of pressure on yourself too. I mean, if I'm gonna shoot my comedy special, yes, you need to do your jokes because it's gonna be an hour. You prove the hour works, but now I'm like, okay, I need to test these people. They wanna listen to family stuff. They wanna listen to silly stuff. Let's see. So kind of, I'm playing around a lot these days. I'm having a lot of fun too.
How is Russia treating you?
How now or before?
Well, now, like how is it? How's the country now? Like,
oh man, it's like you know, I love Russian people. I really like my Russian friends. Before my wife, I have a lot of Russian friends in the U.S. and then now it's my fourth time here. I have kids with Russian citizenship, so it's part of my life, right?
But you don't have the Russian citizenship.
No, thank you. No, I'm good. no, keep it for yourself. I'm on the point of like I have two citizenships, right?
Yeah.
So if I get a third one, I need to start choosing. So I'm not gonna choose between my Chilean and Russian. So like I'm okay. If anything, I move here for any reason, I just get some visa or something. I don't know, like I don't know if you guys have residency or something like that. Yeah. I don't think I'm gonna be hardcore on citizenships, but I'm good with two for now. Yeah. It's enough. But I love it here. It's nice. I don't speak the language. I think it's a good thing at some point because I skip a lot of fights with my parents-in-law, and then there is a lot of drama in their life. So I think I'm good, you know, staying away. And now kind of because the kids, you know, and then I'm meeting family and friends. Sometimes I feel like I want to learn a little more, but I'm in the point like I understand a lot, but I'm not speaking, you know. So I think I talk in Russian like a 2-year-old. I know basic words and that's how I communicate. I can kind of have a conversation with someone, but not really. A lot of bad words too, but my wife doesn't let me say that.
Good.
How did you
Not good. Yeah. Before my wife, I have a lot of Russian friends. This is outside comedy, right? So this is when my wife met me. I'm like, I have a lot of Russian friends. So what did you do when you met people from our country? You learn the bad words, right? So my thing, because I love to make people angry, or people laugh. So it's angry or laugh. This is nothing between. So I used to show up in Russian parties, right? Without nobody knows me beside my friends. Super drunk already, and I don't know anyone. I scream. Can I say bad words in Russian?
Sure.
So I go like, hey, sisi huy sukas, piderazos, and something like that. I don't remember now, but it was a horrible
that you
phrase.
added like the how do you call it, like a Spanish
Yeah, like a Spanish suffix.
But the Russians do they got what I said. They hate that shit. So I almost got in several fights, but because I know my friends will be there for me, and also I'm a black belt. I don't
black belt of what?
Taekwondo.
Oh,
so
black belt.
I'm a second degree black belt, so I know how to fight, but I never really used it because I know I like to make people angry, but I know how to get off the situations too.
Yeah.
But that's the thing I used to do. You know, horrible thing. You know, you show up in like your country and somebody told you like I saw my dick, bitch, or whatever. You know.
No, in Jordan, where we're from, I think the Arab countries were like, holy shit, bad words. Awesome.
Well, yeah.
Just don't swear at my mother or you.
Right. But yeah, that was my thing before. So my wife really shaped shape my personality to a better person, I guess. I don't think if I will survive many years doing that. Though. Yeah, maybe I got lucky with the crowd.
How about like the cultural differences? Have you noticed any cultural differences? Like, how do you call it? Like, very visible or audible, like cultural differences.
You know, like in the way the Chilean and Russian people, we have a lot of similarities. You know, like the way with like we are fun people, but Russians when you drinking, well, you drinking all the time, Russians. But the international community is different. But
Yeah.
that's what I like. We click with the Russians. You have my group of Chilean people. We live in the U.S. and we met these crazy Russians, and we used to party all the time together because we have a lot of similarities. But at the same time, we're pretty different. So like you know, like as a good Latinos, we love to touch, we love to kiss. We are like hot-blooded people, right? Russian, they're not.
Fuck personal
Oh,
borders.
Yeah.
Well,
Fuck
No.
borders.
Yeah,
fuck borders, man.
and not really like your space, and like that's why living in the US for me is difficult. I got used to, like they don't kiss, they don't really hug.
Yeah.
They're more like
Yeah,
the handshake, you know,
Yeah.
and that kind of type of thing, you know. I know we Latinos were different. The same with Russians, you know, they're more like they're super cold at first, you know?
Yes.
But then if like of course if you win them over,
Yeah.
they're like nicer people, but then in general they're not too nice.
It's something that I learned when I came here is that a Russian hates you.
for
Like,
no reason.
Yeah, hates you. They don't know you, they hate you. Until they know you. Then
Right.
it's a whole different,
So-
drinking buddy world, you know?
So when you get to that point, right, when they know you and you drink together and you have fun, then I feel like we click a lot. So we have a lot of similarities. But before, with Chilean people, no, we're happy all the time. We don't know people. We want to know people. We help each other. And in the way you can just, warmer people, right? But Russian, they have this wall in front of them.
Yeah.
And in some ways, the Americans, they have the same. They really love their personal space. So they we like I don't even know. Before I always get me confused how to fucking say hi to girls over there because we kiss in Chile. We kiss everyone. No, you kiss opposite sex, right? I mean the same sex. If like we are close friends, we kiss boys, right? And then the chick. But if the girls. You meet a girl you don't know, even if it's a fucking homeless girl, you kiss them. It's a Chilean culture. And then getting to the US, and like I always get like how you say hi. Even now, I meet Latinas. I don't know if they live longer in the US than when I kiss me or not. So I'm always like I look like a robot when I say hi to Latinas, especially because American girls I don't even get close. I'm like hey. And if they're nice or they know you, they hug you a little bit. That's it. But
the friend, like they put the hand like hovering over you.
Yeah. So that's it. But like with Latinos, I get to this point like, do I have to kiss them or they're like from here or they're from my countries? I don't know. So it's always I get uncomfortable when I say hi to especially Latinas in the US, because you want to be the creep guy, want to kiss them, and they're like, "What are you doing?" And they
Then
will
you get
tell
sexual harassment lawsuit. Like, bitch, we're in the metro.
So I'm like, it was a weird saying hi to Latinos, but yeah, we have a lot of different like cultural things. Like, but I got used to it. I've been in the US 16 years, and I've been with my wife, 14. So like a lot of cultural thing with the US and more stuff with the Russian people. Since I visited so many times, I just got used to everything. Yeah, Russian people are nice when they're drunk, especially.
Yeah.
I tell you.
So they're always nice, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're always when they're not drunk, when they're sleeping.
Well, man, but has that affected like if we can like talk about this like the kids, for example, because the kids now have, if I can say, they have 3 cultural like backgrounds.
Yeah.
They're Chilean, Americans, and Russian.
Yeah.
How's that with them?
So we're trying to really keep it together for them in the way that like they're already trilingual, so they. I'm because my wife, thanks to her, she's hardcore Spanish from my side, hardcore Russian from her side, and since my wife she speaks Spanish, we neutral language in the house is Spanish, so we never really switched to English until they learn from friends and school. which is a good thing because they don't have an accent in English. I don't want my kids to speak like me. Okay, because I think like I have Mexican friends or whatever, Latinos, and they want the kids all to speak English, and then in the beginning the kids speak a funny English because they learn from parents, you know. I have my accent. My wife's accent is less. She's good.
I love the thought. Your wife has like the hard Russian accent,
Yeah.
and you have the hard Latino, and the kids, what language what accent would they have?
Yeah, that's why since they're learning from school, they're learning the proper American whatever English, the US, right?
Yeah.
That's why they're like they switch back and forth. They don't have any accent in either language, which is good. It's good. I love it.
Oh.
And they're going to the not special school, but it's a different program. So they study in Spanish. It's a bilingual school. So they doing all Spanish until the English starts little by little from the first grade. My son, he's third grade now. He has 2 classes in English. The rest all Spanish. So in some point, it's gonna be half and half.
I love the thought that when you teach them whenever you're in a fight, Russian accent.
Yeah.
Applying for a job, American accent.
They can play around. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, and the freaking kids are like a sponge. They're learning everything, and they're good at it. So I think that's a good thing we're doing. Yeah, and they're trilingual already. So it's good.
Yeah, that's
Fucking hey, man.
at 9. Wow.
Yeah, 1-9, and I'm from the beginning. It's crazy, but the one who is 9-year-old, he started speaking when he was like a 10 or something like that, and like 11.
Has any of them ever came to your to a comedy show you've been doing or not?
My kids?
Yeah.
Oh no, they never see
No.
my comedy because my comedy is not kid friendly. They invite me to couple clean, they call it clean comedy shows.
Yeah.
And I know it's not my forte, but I done 10 minutes here and there.
Okay.
I have some clean stuff like a 3 or 5 minutes, which I'm trying to. I've been a couple times on a Mexican TV over there, so you need to do clean stuff. And I can do clean, but my kids, I didn't have a clean show I can bring them because if it's in a comedy club, it's 18 plus, you know.
Yeah.
Or if you do a coffee shop, maybe they let kids in. But I never done.
Or a kindergarten.
Uh-huh.
Okay, that was cool. Yeah.
So yeah, I want them to see me, but I showed them a couple sets I did in the Mexican TV.
Yeah.
They like it, but it's not really like a.
I imagine they're not laughing. You look at them like, you know who feeds
He's not
you.
funny.
You know who feeds you.
You better laugh, motherfucker. I made you. You laugh right now. Yeah, but no, they know I'm a comedian. They're proud of it.
Cool.
They love it, and they're excited for the future. More excited than my wife. she's waiting for the result, but the kids are proud of the Papa's a comedian.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
They love that.
They're already texting Netflix for you, doing your account.
I know. We watch the American Got Talent thing because I told them I wanna be on that. I did it 2 times, no, three times the auditions, right?
Yeah.
So they know Papa's gonna be there, but we don't know yet, because it take a minute. So I did it 2 virtual. The last 3 years I've been applying, right? So I did 2 virtuals where you just go Zoom, and then if there's one, maybe 2 more people in the room, and then there's a producer, and you do your set to non-laugh audience, and then it's a minute 30 seconds hardcore. What you really can develop in 1 minute 30? You have to. I mean, it's TV.
Yes.
You should be able to do it.
Yeah.
Some people say it's impossible. It's possible, but it's weird, right?
Yeah.
And last time I did it, I went to LA, all the way to LA, and that was cool. It was nice to see the set and where the shooting everything. But there is a pre-audition, so I didn't go in front of the judges, right? It's just you go, you use the same facilities, but then you go to different rooms with 7-8 people. They do their own thing, and they have 2 producers.
Okay.
whoever, whatever people.
Yeah.
So it's not like you see on TV. So that's the like if they call you back, then you go to the TV with the same 1 minute and a
Yeah.
half. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I guess they didn't like me this time. Because I didn't. In the end, I got excited. They were laughing. I said something. What was the joke? I was like, oh, I have nothing like controversial, but in the end, I say, I was like, oh, I just become an American citizen, right? And every day I feel more American, you know. Every day I feel more American. I even become a little more racist, you know. That part was okay because the people like I don't know what happened. I was colorblind before, but I just want to be like you guys, you know. So I point to the producers,
Yeah.
to white people. I want to be racist like you and one of the producers, she's like, oh, and when she did that, I was like, I fuck it up. So I knew they're not coming me back.
Okay.
I'm already past. It was in March, so they're supposed to call me by the end of March. So this season is not happening. I know what I did, but I got too excited because it was good. They were laughing and like with everything, and then I finished with that, and then I got excited. I said, I want to be like you, and then they made the sound. I was like, oh shit.
So in those like 3 years of you like trying, was it the same set, the same minute and a half, or
no? I think then the most different one was the last one. The first two they were the same. Yeah, they were the same. I thought was really strong, and then looked like it wasn't. So I need to switch something. But this one I think it was really strong. But and then I got excited with the racist stuff.
Yeah.
It's still TV,
I got excited with the racist stuff.
I was also like in a casting for a TV thingy, and I go there and I did like a Israel-Palestine joke.
Uh-oh.
And so we had like a host, producers in the back, and audience. The audience was a lot. The audience liked the joke. The host, after like my first joke, it got the host to laugh. My second, like when I did the Israel-Palestine joke, she went like she stopped looking at me. She stopped laughing, and I was like, okay, I lost her, and I think I lost the producer. So I was like, I'm gonna go all out. And I did the pedophile joke.
Oh shit! Okay, you got more excited than me.
Yeah, very excited, man.
Oh shit!
He's on my watch list at the moment.
And then the security like a take this fucking guy.
And as soon as I finished the joke, they just started playing music and they kicked me out. And I'm like, fuck, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you live and you learn, right? Like, okay, next time.
And
not
then
so.
he'll go next time and do the same thing. It's like, you motherfuckers are gonna laugh.
But I'm gonna start with the pedophile this time.
Yeah.
That's a twist. That's a cool story.
Yeah.
But don't do it next time for sure. Yeah.
You know, there is one comedian, a French comedian here, who he performed like in many countries, and he said something that in the US, this is something that he did not see coming. Yeah, which was he went there. He was like, oh, I've been performing in Russia for this many years, and people were cheering. He was like, this is the first time, like this is like usually doesn't happen. And then he said it was just a setup. You know, he was just trying to set up.
Yeah.
He just I ate this, and they started cheering. Like, what's like this thing in the culture? What's up with this?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like they cheer over like
A lot?
yeah, they cheer a lot over like not random phrase, like certain words that you know. I'm from Russia. Whoa!
Yeah,
I'm from
yeah.
this. Whoa. So what's up with this? If I can ask,
I mean, I don't know, like they say like when the people relate, right? Like with your stories and stuff like that, and probably that's like a easy way to get the audience on your side, right? Like you click with them, like okay, I name your country, or like oh I know you love this president or this football team or whatever. Just like you need to use the right.
because this doesn't happen here.
Yeah.
This doesn't happen here. And
No, I believe you.
wherever you say you're from, they're like, and
Whatever.
get to your fucking point.
No funny. Still not funny.
Yeah.
I know, man. I think like that after what was that you invite me. I have this show. I don't remember if it was the same year or next year. I came back to the same little club, right?
Yeah.
And I did like a 15 minutes or 10 minutes, and I was like, fuck it, I just gonna have fun. And that was like my redemption, right? Mm-hmm. So I think I really like lose myself, and I was talking about whatever even I did my gay jokes. My wife, she told me to don't do it because Russian people are very like very particular about the gay stuff. So I was like, fuck it. So I didn't have fun. So that was kind of like my closing the chapter. Like I went like because it was kind of traumatic for me that set. I was like, oh fuck. But I know what was wrong and what did wrong and what happened, blah blah blah. But then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go to the same stage to have some fun. So that's what I did that time, and I think it was cool to do it, because some stuff like in another way you would be like, I don't want to come back to do a Russian show because my wife's like, why you keep trying to do Russian shows if you like are not having fun or you bomb so bad? I'm like, fuck, I just need to do it. I need to get over it with, and that's what I did. So I think Russian crowd is special. They're special, like you say. Like if you win them over, they're good. But it's hard to get to the cracking point.
The thing with, especially in English here, like you said it. For example, the accent. Like when we perform, there's a stage we perform at. I always tell the comedians is after like I host, I get like. I tell them right before we like start the show. I tell the guys, slow down.
Oh yeah. Important.
Don't like eat your words. Just chill out. Believe, like I always tell them, like we have time. Don't worry. Just because if you speak too fast, they won't understand you. They will just draw back. Another thing is, for example, with the accent. For example, if your accent is too hard, it's what I like to say. They struggle to listen to you. They're already struggling to understand the jokes, and now they're struggling to listen to you. So that kind of disconnects them.
Too many, right? Too many things to deal with. Yeah.
Like there are there's a few Russian comedians who perform with us, and sometimes I'm kind of afraid that it's because their accent is too hard, the audience won't understand them, and I get that this happens to them.
Yeah.
Another thing is you get an audience who come to listen to you. To not most of the time say a Russian word.
Yeah.
Say a Russian word. The one thing with this is it's a double-edged sword. So you can say the Russian word, but don't say it too many times. There's also one female comedian with us. Is that she all her punchlines are in Russian, all of them.
Even in the English show?
Even in English, all her punchlines are in Russian. And the problem here is that the first punchline, and when she performs in Russian, she's mind blowing. Like she's amazing. But in English, like first punchline they laugh, then they start getting. Can you switch to English? This is something that we have to do.
We have a lot of comedians who talk, and then they swear in Russian. Gets a big laugh, and then they swear in Russian, and they just continue swearing in Russian.
No, but that's like, for example, the swearing in Russian. This happened to me when I perform in Russian. But one of my biggest laughs that I get is when I fake that I'm struggling with a word, so I just go and I swear in Russian, and they laugh. The thing with this is I do it on purpose, so to for them to laugh is like, okay, now I can go back to my shit. But if you swear too much in Russian, they instantly disconnect. They just go fuck off.
But that's in every language. It should be like swearing shouldn't be necessary.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, I use a lot, and that's one of the things I'm working on it to be a little cleaner in the way, to get used to for me to say fuck, I say fuck a lot. I was like, why you say fuck so many times? Like, I don't know, fuck, I love the word.
It's an amazing word.
It's an amazing word. You can put it anywhere. But it's true. Like when you relate and too much swearing and too much, stuff like that, it's the cheap laugh, right? It's the cheap laugh. So you need sometimes to stay away. It's good to use it. It's not bad. But if you're always using it, maybe you relax too much.
So that is a problem. And I have another question. Is the way you look, do you does that is for you, is that something you don't want to joke about, or is it something that helps you?
Why is something wrong with me?
Hey man,
I
Hey man, I told you, you look not a day older than 45. I told you this before.
okay, 29. It was 29 before.
Yeah.
No, but
Dude.
like for example, there are comedians, let's say, who have a character,
Yeah.
or they
Yeah.
depend on the way they look too much.
Oh yeah, no. I don't have any problems like making fun of myself and stuff like that. And I this point of my life, like what I make more fun of it is usually like how gay that people think I am, because I'm not, but I've been dealing with that all my life. Maybe the way I speak or the something is giving the gay people
vibe,
a
yeah.
weird vibe. I'm
Yeah.
not. I wanna say
It's probably there's a dildo with you, like on your shoulder.
I'm not gay anymore. Now that's kind of like a fuck around a lot, but
Yeah.
like it's in a way you make fun of yourself too, right? Like it's something like could be. I my stuff like I make fun of myself before. I used to be when I was a kid. I was overweight, I was fucking fat.
Yeah.
So I talk about that too, and I think like sometimes if I get loose, I get like my Chilean genes are affecting my. I get big, so I need to be cautious about my diet. Yeah, I make fun of myself about a couple of things like that, but yes, in general, yeah, I don't really care what people think about
No,
how
I
I
mean-
look, but I do point it out stuff like that.
But this idea of how a person looks and how they use that look to be most of their jokes. This thing. Is it for you? How is that related to your comedy, or like to people accepting like what you're saying?
Yeah, I think it's a big part, but
Uh-huh.
no, just the way I look, right? It's like who I am. So that's what I use, a lot, right? Like who I am as a person, stuff like that. It's a little more than physical, but yeah, I use it. I use it in my events, right? Like what I said, like my personality, being looking of people thinking I'm a little gay and stuff like that, or how I have angry issues, and then I play around that, because a lot of my comedy too is sometimes I explode and I get angry about something, but it's just looking for a job, right? But it's like I talk about that too, and I use it, but it's not my like I depend on it, right? Like if sometimes I'm talking about whatever stuff, because like I can go from this to that, and I will say like a 40% will be about my own stuff, but in general I think just talk about whatever. So I don't really depend 100% of it, right?
Well, okay.
And it flows, depends, depends. Depends on how I feel that day, right?
Okay, and so curious, what's your writing process when the jokes? Like,
Yeah.
do you like some comedians sit? For example, they sit for 3 hours in front of the computer or a notepad. Some comedians walk and talk. Some comedians in the shower. All this. What's your writing process?
Yeah, so look, usually what it works for me, like I used to carry my little notebook and shit, but this got a little annoying because I like it, but I end up using my phone right now. I love using my phone. So what I do, like I'm all the time thinking about what can be funny, right? Okay, if I see something, I think something. But I shoot the idea. I have a note thing, like when do it 1,000 lines, and they're all different ideas about jokes. So I just have those like pointers, bullet points, and I have like this, and I will remember because I just do specific words and I will remember, and then I sit down and write it. But it's not like okay, today is my writing 2 hours. I don't do that. Maybe I should. I don't know. Maybe I will have more material, but what I do, like when I have those, I know I'm behind like 10 ideas. I didn't write them. So I sit down and like I just work with that stuff. It's not like okay, I need to sit down now in the computer and write 10 jokes. No, I don't do that. I have those ideas which happening daily, or sometimes I'm driving and I cannot use my phone. I'm telling my wife, text me this. The same, I use whoever is around me. Like I need to write it down because it happened to me a lot before, like, I have a good idea, I write it later, and then I'm sitting, I'm like fucking stupid because I knew it was a good idea, but my mind went somewhere else. So I happened to me a couple times, and then I learned in the moment, I need to grab the idea, not write it. I don't need to sit and write it, but have it with me. So that's what I do. I have my phone.
Okay, so you start from the idea.
Idea,
Yeah?
just an idea.
And then how does that trickle down to to it becoming
A
a
joke.
setup to for it to becoming a full joke?
So like a, it's like a half and half for me. Sometimes like I sit down and write it, and then I try, and sometimes I have the idea and I go to stage with the idea, and I write it on stage.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it sometimes happens. It's like amazing the process. I love it. I don't recommend it sometimes because sometimes you think you have a great idea and it's not that good. So that's why like open mics. I try to go to one open mic a week, and then I do that. So sometimes I have the idea written, or I have just the idea. So it's like half and half for me. But mostly I write it down before. But I love to do that to go and try it out on stage and see the words and what the people are thinking. And sometimes I keep it sometimes the way it is, and it's beautiful. And sometimes I keep working on it. So
Okay.
it's a process, but not every joke comes the same for me. It's like it just I play around however it feels. But I don't have this like writing process. I need to sit down and write 1 hour a day. Maybe I should.
Okay.
Should we go to the ask credit questions?
Well, I have. There's one very interesting question. I'm
Okay.
just gonna. What's a common misconception about stand-up?
Misconception.
Misconception about stand-up.
Ah.
The easiest one I can think of is when people think that heckling helps you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Well, for me, it's this. It's if you're funny with your friends or in school, you're gonna be funny on stage.
Uh-huh.
Because this is what I used to think as well.
Yeah.
Because I was the class clown, everything, and I did comedy, and like I was like, oh fuck, I'm not funny at all.
not that funny. Huh?
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, and then I was like, okay, now you need to learn how to write a joke. So I think this is the biggest misconception. If you're funny off stage, you're funny on stage.
I think same way, because like the people sometimes like okay you gotta tell me a joke. I'm not like making jokes all day. Okay,
Yeah.
mostly I am, but if you put me in the spot, it's not like you need to be like a book. Like okay, tell me a joke right now in your face
Can I-
like another song.
Can I tell you a life hack for that?
Yeah.
Instantly, when anybody tells you $20,
Shit.
I honestly tell them $20.
Yeah.
I'm not giving you my joke for free.
Yeah.
That's kind of like I say too. Like I do it, but not for free. But I don't do put a number.
No,
but
I instantly go $20. I realize this
Silent,
number makes them
silent.
go.
Actually, it happened to me so much. I was working on a joke for it, but I never came. My idea was like this. It's like those people always ask me for like a free joke. It's like you don't do that with other. You can't go up to a prostitute and tell her like, hey, give me a blowjob for free. Like, let me test the product first. Like,
Well, if you're handsome enough.
You can. That's what I'm saying. You can. You never been to Tijuana, Mexico. yeah. No, it's true. Like these people sometimes go crazy about it. Like, okay, yes, be funny. It's not like that. And sometimes it's crazy because you have people that are great writers, right? But they don't have personality, or they don't know how to. They have the stage fright, right? They cannot really be in front of people, so they like blocking themselves. So they have all these different personalities, and they like it's fun to see when you meet comedians and you see them on stage, and then you see them in real life, and then you put all these things together, and sometimes it works opposite, right? You're funny here, you're funny there, or sometimes you're funny on stage and you're just quiet in real life. You're just doing a persona, on stage, and then you really have you whatever, or sometimes you just whatever the whole way. But you're a good writer, so you just telling stories like a poem, and it will work if you're fun. So yeah, it's fun to watch, but people will think like it has to be you need to be funny the whole time, or I don't know.
yeah, this is annoying.
Have you ever needed to use your black belt skills?
No, not yet. I was
Not yet.
not yet.
He didn't
I'm
host
ready.
the Oscars yet.
I'm ready. That's what I want to say. Like after I saw that, I was like, interesting. So like you may be in the situation when you have to use it. I will never kick or do something, but if they try to touch me, I will definitely put them down. So
Unless they're
I never
Latinos.
thought about it before. When I saw that in the Oscars, when he got
Yeah,
slapped in the
yeah.
face, I thought, fuck. That's like I mean, the way he react, I think it was very like
Professional.
professional, too professional on my way. I like
Wow.
a little painful to watch because
If it's
he
painful
has
to
zero
watch,
regret.
imagine how much painful for Chris Rock it was.
Well,
you
how
know?
much money he made after though?
Yeah, but I don't think he was thinking of that, you know.
no,
At that
no,
point.
no. But whatever that situation was, it was crazy. I watched a video to the I don't know in which country. I don't think it was in the U.S. It was a comic saying something, and the father of a kid they were
Oh,
interacting.
this is recently. This happened recently.
It
Yes,
was
yes.
all over the news. And like
So-
he got him like
Yeah,
harder than Chris
Like,
Rock.
so the so is there's a he's a I think he's a right wing like he's an official. I forgot what's the was it Portugal or Spain?
Something.
Somewhere like there, or maybe in Latin America. I'm not sure. But anyways, so he made a post on Twitter, X at the moment, and he was just like, "Hey, look, this is my baby." And there's a comedian who replied.
He roasted the baby.
Yeah, he
Something
was
going
like
on.
wait until there's a there's a dick in his mouth or something. That
Yeah,
was
yeah,
it.
yeah, and then the father finds him at
The
the
father
show.
told him, "I'm gonna come to your show and I'm gonna show you that real life is different than
He
internet."
did it. He was in the middle of the show, and
Yeah.
somebody was recording this. So you
He
see
got on
everything.
stage and punched him.
Yeah.
And then they made friends and they were like texting, "Oh, everything is okay." Yeah, this
Really?
is like a whole.
Oh, I don't
this
know the
whole thing,
after
like,
story.
The comedian apologized and the father, he was like, "Oh, it's fine." Blah blah blah. blah.
Yeah, but he wanna keep like hitting him or punching him, but then the father ended up telling like a little speech
Yeah.
explaining the situation, but the comedian ended up in the
Was
corner,
in a corner,
like this,
yeah.
and the father was like, oh, dude, it was hard to watch, but yeah, I mean,
While,
I guess,
while the father was saying a speech, another guy comes from stage, slaps him, is like, keep my girlfriend's mouth out of it.
yeah, something like keep my
Something, yeah, yeah.
kids
No,
out
but
of your mouth, and
for me that thing what I really liked, not like some people what they said, but never mind. Like again, Twitter is not real or all this.
yeah,
I liked what the comedians who stood next to Chris Rock,
yeah.
how they like, "Hey, Will Smith, come here. We're gonna like both for Jada,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
his wife and this." And I liked like Chris Rock's latest special. What I think the last 15 minutes for me was like a good bit in that, and he addressed that at the end,
Yeah.
which was a very nice like yo, don't forget who you are, like as in like we came from the same neighborhood,
Yeah.
and not same neighborhood, like same how our lifestyle was, then like we became famous, so don't forget that.
You're
This
right.
is I really
Yeah,
liked.
yeah.
Yeah. No, it was a very weird situation, but
I remember when the whole Chris Rock thingy happened. There was, like, I think it was Andrew Schultz. He was like, "You wanna fucking slap comedians?" And he just went on a rant
Man,
about fucking.
he not only went around. I think what he did, Andrew Schultz, is he invited other comedians and they just went on a roast of Will Smith and his wife. They just roasted for like I don't know how many, like
And
15, 20
like even
minutes.
after the whole thing with Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle was doing.
Dave Chappelle was doing
And then
special.
there was this joke really funny. I forgot who said it, but there's a transgender guy comes on stage and he had a knife that looked like a gun, and someone said the knife identified as a gun or something like that.
it was
Yeah.
Chappelle.
And then Chris Rock comes out and he goes, "Was that Will Smith or something like that?" And this
Yeah.
gets a bit-
That happened to Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
But he was doing the show with Chris Rock, so Chris Rock was in the backstage.
Yeah.
So all happened together. That was fun. Yeah, I watched
and
it.
Dave Chappelle didn't have anything to say, and Chris Rock just came, did this, made everybody laugh, and I liked what Dave Chappelle said. He was like, "Motherfucker, you
Yeah.
couldn't say that when now you're funny."
Yeah, now you're funny.
Yeah.
Well, everyone kind of make fun of him. Well,
Yeah.
they support him, but they also make fun of him. So that was, I guess, his opportunity to pay back.
Yes. Oh, it's a very like, I don't know, man. It's just I think this is the American culture thing.
Yeah.
I
I never been in the situation like even close to anything like physical happen, but I think if it will happen to me, I'm ready.
Yeah, but,
Yeah.
what's so interesting for me, to be honest, this is assault.
Yeah.
That was assault. Like
Yeah.
that was like
Yeah.
assault on television.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and like Will Smith, like he didn't get shit for it.
Nothing, right?
But I think
Or-
'cause-
He lost a lot of fucking
It doesn't
shit,
matter if
man,
Chris Rock
movies
said
and
anything.
stuff.
Yeah, it's,
no. It's like
Personal.
Chris Rock. I think Chris Rock is the one who didn't want to pull
yeah, but
charges.
it's not about Chris Rock pulling charges. This is like there's also civil law.
I think so.
Yeah,
I
there's
decided
also
no,
like
man.
civil law, you know.
Yeah, because this guy then have like an hour left on the show, and he said the whole time there. He even got an award, I think, after. It was
Yeah,
so
yeah,
weird.
he won.
Like, and people like, okay, Will Smith, you're a good actor or whatever.
please.
Weird. Yeah, weird shit.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I mean, I think he got an award for the tennis movie, you know?
Something.
Yeah, he showed Chris Rock the backhand.
Shit.
Yeah. But so, like talking about the comedy thing and all this, what's your fondest moment of like doing comedy?
Like what? I mean, you mean like,
Like for example, a great set or like
what the best?
like a moment that you will never forget. Like you know, like you're like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah. I have couple, but I think I was doing what was that? We have a all Latino show. It wasn't my show, but it was at the Laugh Factory, the Laugh Factory San Diego, and I was a great set, and then I it was one of the first time I think I did a real show in a real club, you know, and it was all because my niche, I will say, probably is like 80% Latino and it has to be 20% white, so that's the good spot for all my jokes to land, and I don't have a great set, so I think that they have that recipe, and it was in the Laugh Factory, so I was very excited. I did like a 10 minute set, and then I was opening for like I think it was Jerry Garcia. I think so, and it was good, man. It was good, and I felt like this is what I want to do forever. You know, like it wasn't a huge crowd. It was like 200 people, but it was yeah. It's not some people say like, oh, I was in the theater for 1,000, 10,000. No, it was good crowd, but small, 200-300 people. I think in the club, but it was the whole set. It was like a bang here. So. I think that was like it will stay in my mind forever. Like was Laugh Factory, and it was a great set. I mean,
also, there's I have like another question about like in the U.S. I'll give an example. For example, here in Russia, the comedians here, the professional comedians, the like television comedians, whatever. You can like here in Russia, for example, once you get to know them, you know, and this doesn't happen often, but you can like have this how do you call it? Crossover. with
Crossover,
them,
yeah.
So and you can ask them like, hey, can I do a spot? Like, can I open for you? Like you ask, like, can I open for you? And a lot of them say yes. Some people say no because they have their own opener or they don't. One comedian we know, Valentin Sidorov. This guy, I can give like a quick, how do you call it? A story about him. Quick story. He is a television comedian.
yeah.
Like well known, always fills rooms, you know, tours all the time and all of this stuff. There's one day when he was going to a venue, he saw another comedian. He performed with like in another city, and he was like, "Hey, would you like to open for me?" You know, and that guy, oh yeah, and he opened for him and all of this. Does this happen in the U.S.? Can you go to like, I don't know. I don't want to say like superstars. Although in Russia, like I met these superstars and a lot of them were like very nice people. And when I told them like, can I open for you? They did. They gave me like a 5-minute spot, you know. All of this. Does this happen in California? Can you go to someone and go, yo man, can I open for you? All of this.
Yeah, you can do it, but not many of them reply. Sometimes, if you meet them, most likely it's gonna be a yes. Like if they see you, even better.
Yeah.
But if you know someone they know, it helps a lot. But if I done it a couple times, I know, especially Latino comic coming to the city, and I'm like, hey dude, I do comic, blah blah blah, Latino comic, this and that, and Not many respond, but if they respond, they usually tell you no.
Okay.
Because they usually bring their own people
Yeah.
and blah blah blah. And couple times I open for some people I ask like without knowing them,
Yeah.
but it's very you know big list. Like it's not gonna happen 100%. Most likely if you meet them,
Yeah,
they may
like,
say yes.
A lot of them here they tell you like, do you have like, can you send me 5 minutes or like
Yeah.
10 minutes, but of your set or whatever. So they
Yeah,
can check it
usually
out.
you're gonna go like that. If they
Yeah.
kind of think about it, they will ask you for a video.
But it is possible.
It
Like,
is possible.
It's
It's
not.
possible, but it's possible, but not impossible. But
Yeah, I get it. I get it. Like it's let's say unlikely.
unlikely. Yeah.
Okay.
And a lot of times they're like, oh, if they're touring and they're big, they're like, oh, I have already 4 people with me. So it's kind of like a pain in the ass for them. Probably a lot of people asking to. I imagine.
Yes,
So
yes.
that's why. But most likely, if you meet them, it probably is. It happened to me more often like that.
Okay, I have another one. So many questions, but was there a moment in stand-up? Like we have a segment here. It's called Ask Reddit. We take questions from Reddit and we ask. But I would like to like, how do you call it? Restructure the question to stand-up.
Okay.
Was there a moment in stand-up when you went, I shouldn't have said that? I get that the talent, the America's Got Talent one. That was probably one of them.
That's definitely one. Yeah, there's definitely one. There is another time I was doing a one gay joke, and it was like the crowd was a little too old for that joke, and then I got excited myself. I don't know what, and I say the faggot, which is a very bad word.
How many? You have C word, F word, N
The
word.
it's still with the N word, with the C word, so that this is the F word.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I say it again, but it's okay. It's just for the context. But I said, my point is like, I was already bad me telling the gay joke. Everyone was uncomfortable, and I don't know why. I think I'm gonna fix it saying this. So that was the end of my set. I think I have 1 more minute left, and I left like I just say bye after something like that. It was like I shouldn't say that. I think they were lost already, and in my mind I thought I'm gonna fix it with this hardcore word, and I say it, and then I know if you're gay, sometimes they don't even say themselves. And you like I just say I don't know for what, but yeah, I fuck it up.
No.
So that was my
What about you?
I had it was fun, but it's like a while ago. But it's like because after his story, it's gonna sound like normal. Like, I had like this Ukrainian chick in the room, and she's heckling, and I'm like, "What? You don't have comedy in Ukraine?" She says, "Yes," and I'm like, "Yeah. How else are you gonna?" Like she says, "Yeah, we have comedy in Ukraine," and I'm like, "Yeah, this is obvious, because how else are you gonna pick a president?"
Yeah.
She kind of got mad at me, and for some reason, and I was like, "Yeah, like it's nothing compared to what he just said." Yeah.
It's still political controversial.
No, mine was like the most embarrassing. I'll never fucking forget it. I was opening it was a paid show. I was the opening act, and at one point, and at one point you just don't want to do like you just I don't want to get on. I don't want to be on stage. Sadly, this happened to me like 2 minutes right before getting on stage.
Shit.
Like the host was doing this shtick that he does, and it kind of like disconnected the whole audience from the whole fucking show.
Yeah.
And it was clear that that's it. And he introduced me, and I got on stage where I didn't want to get on stage.
Oh shit.
So I was out of who I am. I was like fed, like I don't want to perform. I remember I had like a, how do you call it, a suit jacket that was so fucking hot that made me sweat on the inside so much. And not only that, I don't want to get on stage, and I'm also sweating. So I do one joke at the beginning. They get a laugh, it's fine. The show is going, but the inside I was like, what's the time? I was doing 15.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to get off after 3 minutes. And as my final thing, I was doing a bit about Jordan. So at the end, I repeat the joke I said at the beginning. And in the middle of me saying it, I see the audience going, what's happening? And I go, did I just repeat the same joke that I said this? And always I always say yeah. And I was like, fuck, you know what? I'm tired.
Oh,
I want to
man.
get off. And I just get off stage. Thank God, like they laughed like really, really hard. Like they thought I was making shit, like I was doing it on purpose. I wasn't.
Oh,
I was
man.
so embarrassed. I get off stage. I was like, I wanna, like, where should I go? Like, I wanna, where's the toilet? I wanna dive in it.
My God.
Make sure someone shit in it. You know? And it became a running gag with some comedians.
Yeah.
And then they kept on like doing this for me for like about 6 months. Every time they see me. And the next thing I'm gonna say about Jordan, and the 10th thing, they just kept on saying it. So it was such a
That's
low
funny.
point.
That's
And
funny.
I remember to the like, fuck man, this is actually, I was gonna blow up, ironically, in front of my like a good friend of mine, Karen Varon, and the guy who
Yeah.
Proposed.
Yeah.
proposed. Is I get off stage, I'm so like I get off, I'm like I am embarrassed. This is shit. I was bad, blah blah blah. And he goes to me, is like, you know when your friend wants to support you, so they try to top your pain.
Yeah.
So he goes, I had a bad show, yes, and I just grabbed him. I was like, listen, man, when someone is telling you about their pain, shut the fuck up.
listen for once.
And he just went white. Like, he's white, but he went pale. I was like, yeah, man, just shut the fuck up,
So
you know?
what's a bad show for Kareem Varon and he proposes and she says no?
yeah.
That's
Man, that's funny you mentioned that because it made me remember another time talking about the same thing. I went to Texas, right? So I'm headlining. They pay me to go there. It's all Latino crowds, an English show. I do my show. I got relaxed. I got loose. I was drinking, before and on stage too. So all the crowd was Latino. Just some table with a black dude and then a white table. The rest all Latino. The comedians they were doing jokes half Spanish, half English, like a Spanglish they call it. Somehow I was doing 30 minutes, right? And a minute 25, I could go to the closing joke and I started doing it in Spanish. The joke. It was an English show. I started the Spanish story. And in the end of the story, I'm talking about 6 minutes story. And in the end,
Holy shit.
I go to the punchline. I was like, wait. I was like literally talking. No, not thinking. And wait. I'm speaking Spanish right now, guys? And everyone's like, yeah. Producer, my friends, comedians here, and everyone's laughing because everyone's Latino, but these two tables, they stay the whole time. Nobody say anything. Like, dude, you fucking have to tell me. Like, I wasn't that drunk, but I just switched to Spanish like that without even thinking.
Yeah.
And I was like, in the end, after 5 minutes speaking Spanish, I'm like, dude, I'm speaking Spanish right now. And they were like, yes. And it was nothing to do. Like, I just finished the joke in English. Like, thank you, bye-bye.
This happened with one comedian here.
Yeah, we have I don't know why people. Abed always tells me it's really common. It never happened to me. We had this comedian. She started out in English, and then she started doing shows in Russian. And every time for like the first maybe month of her doing in Russian, she would always go on stage and say, "So hello guys, how are you guys doing?" And everyone would be like.
And there's one time when she said it, and then she continued a little bit more, and we were like behind the curtains going, language.
Oh, shit. I got inside me. I got a little scary after I remember a couple months. I was scared I would do the same. I was like, I was ready like 4 years into comedy or more. Like, what is this gonna be a thing? I got scared. I was like, fuck, man, I'm that stupid. I got too relaxed. I was like, well, I didn't do it again, but shit, man, that was made me think like a lot too. I was like, what?
It's
5 minutes Spanish?
It's the same as when you go like this happened. This was in Jordan long ago. We were going to a funeral. And my cousin, next in his head, he was saying, don't say congratulations, don't say congratulations. He was literally in the whole ride, 15 minutes in the taxi. I could hear him say it, just don't say congratulations, don't say congratulations. We enter the funeral, and with his loudest voice, congratulations! And he just, like, fuck. And this, like, man, I was looking like, they're gonna kill us right now because of you, motherfucker. So this is like the same thing. Like, don't say it, and then you go and you say it.
Your brain is tricking you, right? Like
yeah. Oh man.
That's funny.
Oh, this would be a nice. I don't know if we could say the closing thing.
Ender bender.
Nadine,
Okay.
how would you like your funeral to be? Maybe we said it before.
No, we said what song would you like to
So
go?
how would you like your funeral
Oh,
to be?
I want a big party for sure. I like
For 3 days, Latinos.
Oh yeah, but I'm big on. I used to have fun before for kids and stuff, so I would love people to have fun and like do whatever they need to, alcohol, drugs, whatever, everything. No limits, you know. Maybe a show, comedy show too. It would be fun. People laughing there. I know I'm gonna cremate myself. That's what I want.
Literally. So you're gonna die.
Maybe doing
Good night, bitches.
maybe do it in front of me, in front of everyone.
Mic drop.
Something like that. No, but definitely something like that, like a big party. And I don't want anyone fucking crying. And I'm feeling bad about me or not being there. I just, you know, like the time we have in this life is so short. So I don't want anyone crying in the end. So like, you know, either way, I want something like that. But you know, like sometimes the people don't respect what you want. So my wife knows. Hopefully, she will respect if we're still together. But, that's fine. But if not, I want to ride it somewhere. But yeah, a big fucking party for sure. 3 days sounds good. That sounds about right.
Man, I lived in a dormitory where there like a floor of Latinos. You guys love to party. You won't shut the fuck up about partying, man.
Yeah.
You really, man. Like I've never seen people who love partying as much as you guys do.
Yeah.
I really like from Ecuador, from Dominican Republic,
Oh,
from Chile,
Big crowds worth. Yeah.
Argentina. Man, like a whole floor. We were. I lived on the first floor. They lived on the fifth. They partied so much that the what do you call it? The security just gave up.
No. Shit.
Yeah, they're like, we told them once, they didn't stop. We tell it a third time we started dancing. So no, we can't do this shit.
You cannot go there anymore.
Yeah. Our legs hurt.
Yeah.
You know, for literally like, the party started at 8 p.m., maybe 8 p.m. Till I went to university at 7 a.m.
Oh yeah. That's
I come back. There's no sound. Everything is fine. In the middle of the day, fucking the music starts, and they start fucking again. And because I knew a lot of them, and they're like, "What the fuck, man?" I'm like, "Hey, man, the party's still going."
So you're taking a little break.
Yeah.
Now it's back on. Yeah, no,
I mean,
no.
honestly, I can relate to them because they just had a funeral, man. They were sad. They needed to get loose.
Yeah.
I know. Oh yeah. That's
What
a
about
good way.
your funeral?
No, if it's not an Islamic funeral, then I don't know. I would do something. I would want to donate my body to cannibals, so at least like
Cannibals.
yeah,
Shit.
like they can have fun or I don't know, man.
So cannibals.
I cannot donate my body to cannibals. I can donate my body as how do you call it?
Toothpicks, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say something nice, like I for like to
Science?
donate your body
Science.
parts and stuff, and like cannibals. That's a
Like,
twist. That's a twist.
there are enough words in the world. The bodies are there, man. Believe me.
Yeah. I wanna feed these hungry cannibals.
Yeah, obviously.
Nice.
It's good thing. Like in Islam, we have this. You feed people. That's you
Yeah.
go to heaven.
Yeah.
Who said it's not?
If you feed one cannibal, it's as if you fed all the cannibals in the world.
Yeah.
So.
How about you? How you wanna die? Well,
Me, my funeral. No, I want it to be a happy funeral.
Happy.
Yeah. I want to make sure that only people I know are there, or I knew, basically,
Yeah.
are there, which will be like about 100
You
people
know.
from my whole family. You
Yeah.
know? I want them to be there. I don't care. Cry, not cry, everything. Just make sure I have a spot. Like, make sure I have this, how do you call it? A small glimmer of hope to go to heaven.
Yeah.
Because I think if I'm going like in Judgment Day, I'm gonna be picked up and like you're fucking going back to Earth. That's your hell. Go back to your life, motherfucker.
Yeah. But definitely, like people say there is a heaven and hell. They think we're living in the hell, but it's okay. Depends how you
Imagine if this is hell. Imagine what's the other one that the guy's like he's preparing for us.
Yeah.
You know? Or as my uncle once said it, he said he's a very religious guy. He was like, what if there's no heaven and hell, and all I did for all these years is for nothing?
Oh my god, that's fucking painful, right?
Oh,
Because there's people
man.
like what the stuff they don't do, and they just because they're dreaming about
Yes.
something like it's not even real, maybe.
Yeah.
It is a funny thought, and it's actually made me feel good because you're stupid. You didn't do stuff for fun. Well, I mean,
Do you think
Man.
there's gonna if there's stand up in the afterlife? Do you think it's gonna be in heaven or in hell?
the stand-up depends. The good one or the bad one.
Ah!
Yes, you have guys bombing the whole time. That's fucking hell. Yeah.
Maybe that's heaven.
That's
man.
heaven. No,
Yeah,
man,
because
yeah.
all the fun people are in hell.
Hell.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
the
yeah.
twisted part. Like, I was thinking, like, what if hell actually is the fun place to be, right? Like,
Yeah.
all the musicians, all the drugs, the sex, all the stuff I like is down there. Why you want to go to heaven when you're praying all day? Nobody's allowed to fuck.
Yeah, you have
Yeah.
72 versions you need to teach how to
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah.
That's a whole different thing, man.
I know.
There's this street joke where it's like guy dies, goes to hell. See, he's like sad, and Satan's like, "Why are you sad? You know, you like smoking. Yeah, all we do on Mondays we smoke. You like alcohol. All we do on Tuesdays we drink alcohol." And then he goes, and Satan goes, "Oh, and you're gay?" And he goes, "No." And then he's like, "Oh, you're not gonna like Wednesday then."
Wednesday. Yes. Yeah.
Oh man.
That's a funny one.
Yeah.
Some street jokes are good.
Some, yeah.
True, it's true.
Oh, but so I don't know. I wanted to end on the funeral part, but let's end on another part. So,
Okay.
have you guys ever worked in a restaurant, like or in the service business? You worked in the service business, basically. Like
No.
right now, you work in it.
Well, yeah, it's not service business. It's more like
What?
I get
You get serviced.
roasted. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah.
15 years.
Mm.
I always work in the restaurants. So I started like a cleaning dishwasher,
Yeah.
and then I jumped to work as a cook, and then I figured out how much my friend was making as a server, like 4 times than what I was making,
Yeah.
and fucking burning myself and working hard. I was like, oh shit, I need to learn English. I didn't speak English the first five years.
Mhm.
And then from then I've been serving like the last 12 years. Yeah,
Oh.
server, bartender, and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
You name it. But yeah, dealing with people is hard, man. I don't know what is the question. You wanna just share?
Now it's gonna be the question.
How shitty the human beings are. Yeah.
Oh, it's almost there.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
almost there.
Yeah.
What do customers do or say that you hate?
Well, for myself, just
Yeah.
personal in the US, they're fucking into fake. I would say fake. Yeah, fake allergies, right? Like, oh, I'm gluten free. I'm like, I'm allergy to this and that, and they're fucking like they name everything, and sometimes like I have these guests like oh, I'm allergic to onions, but I can eat garlic. You're fucking stupid. That's not a real thing. But they're like going crazy with them. So that when they start naming shit, but like today I can eat X. It's okay. That's not a fucking allergy. You shut the fuck up, bitch. So that like it's like touch my balls. But like I worked for so long, like I'm listening like okay, sure. I'm talking like with kids with a little fucking special needs. That's
Yeah.
how I deal with
Mm.
kids because they're so fucking stupid. You don't even know. So like oh you have that. So I treat everyone like fucking retard or like a 2 years old. That's how I
Yeah.
maintain my sanity. You know, like to don't go crazy because if you start answering or getting angry, man, you get so much shit. Like
Yeah.
you're dealing with, like I said before, you see the worst of the worst.
Mm.
Like a fucking pettiness, right? Like you feel
Yeah.
people like you're like why you even saying that or why you treating people like that or like with the food stuff like why. So yeah, that's one of the things annoys me the
You
most.
just go there, you
fake
know?
allergies, fake
Yeah,
allergies.
we're allergic to you. Get the fuck out there.
I'm allergic to your fucking face, bro. Yeah, but that's you see a lot, and especially I don't know how the service here, but over there it's all about customer, and the customer is always right. So you
Yeah.
basically cannot tell people to fuck up.
Yeah.
So it's very like because they worry about the jail review, or like they're gonna fire you in the restaurant, whatever it is. So I see how customer service in Chile, there's not They tell you to fuck up in
There
your
are
face.
no restaurants.
No, anywhere. They're a
Yeah.
little better now, but before, and I see sometimes here in the store, Russian people look like they're angry all the time. So I don't know if they're really telling you to fuck up or they're talking normally.
No, they're talking. They're talking normal. They
Yeah.
woke up, man.
Yeah.
They're angry that they woke up.
But over there, you can, you have to shut up and suck it up and tell them, okay, I do the best for you.
Yeah.
I tell the chef and blah blah blah. Yeah, so you have to play cool, but inside I'm boiling. Like I'm
Yeah.
really bitch. You're telling me all these allergies, and then like, but today I'm okay having milk. And they're like, I'm so allergic.
I'll tell you something. When I was like studying for public relations, I had some professors who were like highly experienced, 20 years, 25 years in the sphere of public relations and talking with like high officials or like people high in companies, and they told me this thing which I will never forget. They told me when you speak to CEOs, treat them as 2-year-old kids, literally.
Yeah.
And I will never forget that this so helped me so much during my work, because if you don't, they will annoy the fuck out of you and you will lose your job instantly because of them. So I understand what you're saying.
So it's about the same way, right? Like no question or request is stupid enough for me to get angry or let you know you're stupid. You're like that. Like 2 years old. And sometimes they even know. They're like, I'm so sorry. No, I'm being annoyed. Like, no, you're totally fine.
It's fine. It's fine. I'll go kill myself later.
Like
I'll go for my therapist.
Yeah, sure. Like, and that's the way I survive. I work in fine dining before, which is like you even worse people, because in normal restaurant they're stupid, but it's a little like a laid back.
Yeah.
But in fine dining, they're like they have money and they can literally say or do whatever they want, and you treat them even more like that.
Yes,
that's how I train
I
myself,
understand.
and then working anywhere else, I was like, it's fine, treating with kids. That's literally what I do, like how to survive
Omar.
stupid people.
Yeah.
For me, like the most annoying thing that happens to me is those like people who just get angry at you for no reason. Like they're in the wrong, they get angry at you for no reason, and then they just tell you a random fact about themselves. I don't know if that. Like I was with this lady.
Weird.
No, like it really happened. Like I was working. The lady asked me for a price of something, and I tell her the price. Then she asks for the price for another. Like so I work like at the theme park thing. So she asks the price for one ride. Then she asks the price for another ride, and I tell her both. So I tell her the price of the first ride, the price of the second ride. By the time I tell her the price of the second ride, she forgot the price of the first ride. She was this alcoholic chick.
Yeah.
I tell her again, and and then another guy comes in and asks me the price for the second ride. I tell him the price, and then she starts yelling at me. She's like, "Why did you tell him one price and you tell me a different price?"
Oh my god.
And then she leaves, and then she comes back yelling at me again, and she's like, "You never told me the name of this ride. What am I supposed to tell this girl?" And then she mentions this fact about her. She's like, "I have 3 kids." And I'm like,
like, I'm sorry. Like, you may close your legs. Like, so what?
exactly. I didn't know. Like,
That's random. Yeah.
and then she goes to the cash girl, starts yelling at her about me.
Shit.
She's like,
How about
Yeah.
you? Huh?
yeah, she's like, "Why do you hire immigrants to
Oh,
work?"
shit.
Yeah, this is she.
Oh, going there too.
I'm like, fuck. Yeah, and then like the whole time, the girls get the tickets to the ride. And this is the part where I didn't like. She got racist for some reason. She goes like, the girls were in the ride. I was watching over them, and then as soon as I get them out of the ride, she tells them, "Check your bags. He might have stole something from you."
Oh my god.
And Omar is like, "No, I didn't."
Yep.
Yeah, and the problem is she was filming me the whole time. So
Oh,
I'm like, how did I steal anything if you were filming me? Like,
Oh, that's weird. That's
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's too much. You got the whole no.
Yeah,
One
yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
Racist, screaming, and filming you. Fuck up.
The one thing that happens here in Russia a lot, especially in the restaurant, is they have a tipping culture here.
Yeah.
Because like as a waiter, you don't get paid shit. Like your salary is basically dependent on tips.
Yeah.
So well, a lot of them, let's say, when they tip, they put like 10 rubles, the coin.
Yeah.
They put it and they consider this is like an amazing tip. And you know what the problem with this? It's the people who like order for like $200, you know, and then they put like 10 rubles. Here's your tip, and they think they're too hot. Like at one point, I thought they were trolling. I said they were like oh yeah, they're fucking about, you know.
Yeah.
But no, this is actually what they think. Like yeah, this is here's some of my generosity to you. Take
Yeah.
it. And
Fuck up.
I did this. There's a waiter also did this. This is once they did this with us, and we went after them like here have your 10 rubles. You might need it for your fucking life.
Yeah.
You know, there's once when a waiter I used to work with, he followed them, like they put the tip, and we were like we had like a lot of people, and when he was checking the tips and everything, he saw these 10 rubles. He took the 10 rubles, ran after them,
Shit.
and they were already like a few minutes away from us. He literally ran after them and went, "Hey, you forgot your 10 rubles. Keep it and don't come back again."
Oh, shit. Yeah, hardcore. I mean, that's more offensive than.
Oh yeah. He was like, "I'm gonna go savage this at this
Yeah.
point."
Yeah.
Yeah. There are ways to do that over there in the US too. Like the tipping culture is big, and sometimes you do stuff like that too. Like you just better keep with your stuff. Like you bring the change or something like that. But yeah.
Okay, let's reverse it. What about a good something you like from a customer? Like something a customer did. You're like, fucking hey, man. I wish there were more people like you.
The last job I have right now, I have like some people they knew I was traveling and stuff, and they have money there. Obviously, it's California, but they have guests like you have a little relationship, meaning like you serving them all the time. They know you a little more, you talk, and they have like 3 people give me $100 just because my travel. Like it's not even a tip, you know. Beside the tipping, they're like, hey, there you go for your family and the vacation. Like I was like, wow. Like I know they have money, but like they didn't have to even. You know, you don't expect that from guests, and then that was pretty nice. Yeah, I will say. Obviously, money is always good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Besides being cheating, the US, everything they have the tipping culture, so most likely you're gonna get 20%. So that's
20%.
20% of the bill. So yeah, so
Yeah,
that's
I heard.
pretty nice. You made the minimum over there, which in California for me was like a $16.80 something like that dollars an hour.
Yeah.
Plus the tipping, so the tipping is usually 20%.
That's like half a month of a waiter in Russia. Yeah.
Yeah. So you from white American people, you will get 20%, sometimes 30% if they like you. But if you have immigrants, you go 10%. I have my numbers when because your people usually 5%.
Yeah, I was about to say Arabs.
Oh,
if you get tipped from an Arab, good guys.
No, but in the US, right?
Yeah.
So even if they live there, they still cheap. You have Mexicans 10%, Asians 8 to 5%.
They counted in the calculator.
No, man.
No,
sorry.
Indians is about 5%. Like you when you see them, you know. But but overall, like even the Americans are shitty as they are. You know you're gonna get something in the end. So it kind of makes
Can I ask a question? Does your service change depending on like for you see them, you're like these are the 5%ers.
No.
So I'm gonna
I used to work on fine dining, so like they train me like to treat everyone the same. Because
Sadly.
sadly because no because I know what I want to get, but sometimes I like how I do it. Like I even treat them better, so I let them know I treat them equally and you shitty tipper. Trying to do like a reverse psychology, you know.
Yes.
And sometimes worse, I see the percentage going up. But usually I just do it to make them feel bad. You know, because probably they're used to shitty servers too, because we know how it's gonna be. But no, I don't do that. Opposite. I treat them even better sometimes, you know. Yes, for that.
Yeah.
But do you sometimes like see maybe like you see a guy you're like he's an Arab, he's gonna give me 5%, so you send another waiter to his table?
On the restaurants over there, how it works is that it's not possible because you get a section.
So get the
Ah.
section.
So you get the people. For example, this corner is my section, so whoever sits there is my tables.
There's kind of some restaurants here do it is that tables. So for example, first table is Leo's, second table is Omar, third table is mine.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it
It
goes
could
like
be
this.
a rotation, or you get a section. So it's not up to you
Yeah.
to choose. Yeah.
Yeah.
In that case, yeah.
What about you, Omar? What's something a customer did that you're like, hey, or not? There's no.
No, I mean actually when I was working in the winter, again theme park winter thingy, I had a slide. A lady, it was early in the morning. I was two of us working. We were freezing, like because we would sit in a booth under the slide with no heating, like it's just one heater, and a lady comes in, buys us tea and pies, and she's like, "Oh, this is for you guys," and I'm like, "Oh, that's like."
No, that's not.
That's nice, but it's not 300.
Yeah, I don't know, but it was 300 for 3 different people. I had to make it sounds better, but that's nice too. Like that's being human, right?
Yeah,
Like, nice,
exactly.
kind. That's everything about the same. I mean, I prefer money, but hot tea with something sweet when it's cold.
Yeah.
That's good.
No,
too.
mine when I was working as a shisha guy and it was Ramadan, so I couldn't smoke during the day. I had so one thing is I had like many clients. Thank God, like they were nicest people ever. Like when I moved from one restaurant to another, they moved with me.
Oh wow!
You know, yeah. They even I remember they asked the manager of the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
They asked him, "Where's Abed?" And he said, "Oh, he moved to another restaurant." They asked him where, and he didn't tell them. But one of the waiters later told them.
Oh shit! Yeah.
And I was working, and they came to where I was. But one of them, we used to call him X6 because he was a porn star. No, he had an X6, like a Mercedes, a BMW X6 when it first came out, and so I couldn't smoke it. I couldn't like fire it up. So I used to go to him while he was sitting, and I would give him my shisha, like fire it up quickly. I have to give it, and he would just sit there for like 7 hours, man.
Yeah.
He would be working, and I would come. Here, have it. One of them, and he would like leave tip.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't order the shisha. Like there were times when he would still leave tip for me. He would go, "No, Abed, he made me smoke for 7 fucking straight hours."
Nice.
No, like some of the nicest people. So.
Anyways, we have to. Should we wrap up now?
Yeah, wrapping up.
Yeah.
Leo Saavedra, thank you so much for coming on our podcast.
Of course, yeah.
I hope it wasn't too much on you with the questions and the talk and everything. Was everything fine with you?
Everything good. Thank you for having me. A pleasure to share with international comedians.
Same here.
Same,
Hey man,
same.
you never know. We might text you in the next few months telling you, "Yo man, we're in your
area.
we're in Guantanamo. Can you like get us out?"
I will try my best. Yeah.
Where can people find you?
Everyone in social media with Leo Saavedra comedy. So,
And that's 2 A's. SAA.
Leo, yeah, SAAA, double A, B as Victor, small one, Saavedra comedy. All the platforms and on my YouTube channel too, and then I use mostly Instagram stuff like that.
Yeah, we'll have
everywhere.
We'll have everything on
Awesome.
in the description.
Nice. The description.
I don't use Twitter, so don't try to or X.
Yeah.
I have it, but I never really write anything. But the rest, I'm all over it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Yeah, my name was Omar Hifnawi.
Abed OAC. This was Blowing Off Steam. Thank you so much, guys, for being here, like sitting with us, listening to what we talked about. Leo, we have to see you again. You're gonna perform next Sunday. On a Sunday that will be somewhere.
It will be the past. I will perform somewhere in Russia this time, and if not, go and see me in the US for now. I will be back.
San Diego, California.
I will be back.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you, our dear audience, and
please
we hope to see you again.
like, subscribe, everything.
Yeah.
Fuck us, I don't know. Thank you guys.
Thank you so
Bye.
much. Goodbye.